Hello, my name is Jaru, and today we're doing a reaction video to the Deltarune Undertale newsletter for autumn 2023. Yeah, this just showed up. If I sound a little sleepy, it's because it's 11:55 p.m. Where I'm at, so bit of an awkward time, but you know what? It works. I just got finished watching classic Doctor Who from like the 70s as well, so I'm also even sleepier than I would normally be. But I'm still perfectly excited to check out this content and give my initial reaction and thoughts. We'll see if there's anything theory crafting worthy in this newsletter, so let's dive in. All right, right out the gate, we have this Toriel sweeping GIF. The first thought that I had when I saw this on Twitter, because Toby tweeted this already, was that you could probably theorize about what these leaves are from, because this is clearly Undertale Toriel. But there's not exactly a lot of trees in the underground. There is one right outside her house, and all the leaves have fallen off it, and there are piles of leaves throughout the ruins, so these could be the leaves that she's sweeping. Although, this could also be the leaves from the trees in the town that she lives in after the true pacifist ending. So, there are certainly a lot of options there. Do any of them have particularly noteworthy lore relevance? Not really, but it could just be Toby wanted an autumn-related GIF, so he made this. Probably not that complicated, but, you know, figured I'd give my 2 cents on it. Scrolling down, Undertale's 8th anniversary. We have Temmie and Toby. We have Frisk. I think that's Frisk. It's probably Frisk. I can't see the purple stripes of their shirt very well. Although I think you can kind of make it out at the edges of this cake. So yeah, this is almost certainly Frisk. Although it could be a young Chris, because they are carbon copies of each other. Newsletter art and sprites by Temmie. Oh, thank you, Temmie. Oh, and there's a save point overhead and a candle. One moment. It's Undertale's 8th anniversary. Sadly, I don't have much energy for a wild and crazy event this year. Doing a newsletter every 3 months is a bit like celebrating the anniversary all year. In other words, this year, I just want to go to sleep. In celebration of this, Fangamer has created commemorative Undertale sleepy-themed goods. And this links to the Fangamer collection on their website for the new merchandise. The new merchandise, just a bunch of, it's a cute little short video of a IRL live action person who looks very convincingly like Frisk, using some of the merchandise. It's very cute. No real lore there. I will point out that people have been referring to that live action Frisk as being the Canon Frisk on Twitter, and while they're probably just joking, I thought I'd go ahead and clarify that Toby has stated in the past that both merchandise and tweets are not to be treated as canon. So no, that is not a canon Frisk, which is to say it is not what Frisk would look like in real life or in a higher resolution. It's just a funny little ad for some merchandise. It's a bit weird for Jaru, of all people, to be going, it's not that deep, but it's not that deep. But yeah, here, anything noteworthy, blah, 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 blah. There's been a lot of theorizing that the sleep stuff is foreshadowing intentionally because, you know, chapter 2 ended with everyone going to sleep and they're going to wake up in a dark world. So there could be some significance to that. Beyond that, not much to say. And then this is a, oh, and this is a link to the video. It's a very cute little video. I'll go ahead and click on it real quick. I'll probably cut this out just to make sure it's the same video that I've already seen. All right, yeah. Checked it. Nothing new. Just same video that we've already seen. Next, what's the dog dreaming about? Yeah. 20% of each shirt or blanket pre-order goes to charity benefiting able gamers. And this is a link to ablegamers.org. I'm sure you need another t-shirt to use as pajamas, don't you? On a more serious note, thank you all very much, everyone who's reading this. It means an immense amount that so many people have continued to care about this series over the years. Well, that's what happens, Mr. Fox, when you make the best and most engaging, like, indie game of the last, what, decade? Like, there are very few games as incredible as Undertale. And I was talking about this with people on Twitter very recently, but it's like, realistically, when you really break Undertale apart into its base components, it's not that crazy. It's like, cool, it's got a little bit of, bullet hell, and it's got a little bit of RPG, and it's got a little, and a lot of, like, storytelling, which is, a visual novel-esque, you could say. And when you look at it that way, it's like, realistically, Undertale isn't the best in any particular genre. It's just so clever and has so much heart poured into everything it does have that it just creates this perfect storm where, even though you could easily critique countless elements of Undertale, as a whole, it's the best game I've ever played. It's still my favorite game of all time. And it was probably going to be my favorite game from the moment Flowey called me out for killing Toriel the first time I played. And that moment alone blew my mind. So, yeah. Undertale. I get where you're coming from, saying it means a lot. It means a lot to me just to have people watching my videos and caring what I have to say. So what Toby Fox feels, having one of the most beloved games of all time, I can't even imagine what that must feel like. So yeah, thank you for the series, Mr. Fox. Deltarune has been very fun so far. So the feeling is mutual, is the long story short. Deltarune Chapter 3 status update. We have Ralsei also sweeping, using the same rake that Toriel was using earlier. Did y'all know that Ralsei is Azrael backwards? Isn't that nutty? It's almost like they're connected in some major way, or almost like Ralsei fills the exact same role that Toriel did in Undertale, in that he is the guide. He's the one who does all the tutorial stuff with you. He's also the one that encourages pacifism and introduces that concept to you, just like Toriel. He's very much functionally the Toriel of this game, which means we'll probably get the chance to kill him at some point, so that's pretty pog. He's also really hard to draw in pixel art, I have found, but I digress. And then we have Lancer over here just being a menace. Why is there a little brown spot underneath his bike? What? Yeah, what? I don't quite get it. Yeah, I don't quite get that. Is that like a skid mark from his bike? Very odd. Deltarune Chapter 3 status update. We are continuing to work on Chapter 3. The chapter got playable from beginning to end. After some restructuring and reshuffling of different parts, it's feeling quite good to go through. Can't say it's finished yet, but the unfinished parts are certainly seeming less and less numerous. That's good, because try as I might to sleep, until the game is finished, I'll see nothing but nightmares. Okay, Toby Fox, you ain't slick. You ain't slick. Oh, you're feeling sleepy. The characters are asleep. Oh no, you'll see nothing but nightmares? Talking about An unfinished game? Oh man, what could possibly be related to unfinished games and nightmares in the Dreamer household? I wonder if there's an unfinished Undertale-like game on Asriel's computer that was mentioned. Oh, and also, this is Asriel's house, who became Flowey, whose main theme is known, or one of his main themes is Your Best Nightmare. So, yeah, Chapter 3 is going to have some crazy stuff in it, ain't it? Earlier, we were considering having a stealth focus section in the game where you would slowly sneak around certain areas. After developing some concepts, we realized a mechanic which basically just makes you move slower isn't necessarily fun, so we didn't do that. Anyway, feel free to listen to this song since it's now unused. Oh my god. Look at these dorks. Sneaking about. Oh my god. They're like Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. I guess I'll go ahead and click on this. Let me lower the volume a little. And I will give my full reaction to this. If it turns out to be copyrighted and this video gets shot, I'm going to mute this audio so fast. But if it doesn't, that would be pretty great too. All right, let's listen to it. And this is called Sneaking.mp3 Campaign 4? Yeah, the file is email-files.fangamer.com/list_48 campaign 4 sneaking.mp3. Strange. All right, let's see what this sounds like. Sorry, I had to pause. I'm really bad at spotting leitmotifs in Toby Fox music, but even I caught that Lost Girl. Toby? What does this mean? What Lost Girl is relevant to Chapter 3? Also, I can't believe I didn't even think of this. Why would there be a Rousey sneaking sprite? Unless Rousey was in this chapter. Rousey is going to be in Chapter 3. We now have it confirmed. And I mean, there's no reason that we shouldn't have had him, since he was able to get to this Chapter 2 Dark World. But this is pretty noteworthy, actually. Because like up until now, we didn't really know for certain that we would have Rousey. But this pretty much confirms it. Okay, that's interesting. And there's Lost Girl in this. So that's interesting as well. Let's continue. I'll try to think of what that could mean. All right, that was fun. I'm going to go ahead and download this and throw it into an audio editor and see what happens if I speed it up or slow it down. See if that helps me catch any leitmotifs that I missed. I'll let y'all know if I find anything. Yeah, upon playing it at higher speeds, lower speeds, didn't really catch anything. The only real thought I had was that the beginning portion feels like a new theme, like a new leitmotif, whereas the Lost Girl theme feels like it's just more or less the Lost Girl theme. It definitely has a sort of 1930s gangster or 1950s greaser kind of retro, like, thug energy to it. Like you're dealing with someone who's going to say things like, we're going to give you concrete shoes, or you'll be sleeping with the fishes. Like, you'll never work in this town again. Like, that's the energy it gives off. So I'm suspecting whatever this TV-themed antagonist is, they're going to be that kind of character. So that's interesting. Toby Fox X Zune collab? So it's been announced. Zune, or Zun, or Z-U-N, the creator of the Touhou project, and I have created a musical track together. Our track will appear in the officially sanctioned Touhou series fan game Touhou Danmaku Kagura Fantasia Lost. If you didn't see my official announcement video about it, feel free to check it out here. Let me take a look at that real quick. Okay, yeah, checked it out. This is old news. Not much to say on it. It's funny. Just an advertisement of a collab with Touhou. Or the Touhou? I don't know. Yeah, neat. The main thing that I thought was funny was that the video is set to the annoying dog theme, but it's like slowed down and made into this more grand, epic version. So that's really funny. But yeah, neat. Not really much to say on that. If you're not aware, Touhou is a game series where anime girls shoot gorgeous bullet patterns at each other while extremely beautiful Eurobeat-inspired Japanese music plays in the background. This great series has been a huge inspiration to me ever since I was in elementary school. It's no exaggeration to say that the Touhou series is the sole reason that Undertale and DELTARUNE have a bullet-based battle system. Not only that, but the instruments in Undyne's music are a direct reference to the game as well, which makes it kind of amazing that more than half of the track ended up being a remix of Undyne's music by Zun himself. Or Zun. Talk about a dream come true. This announcement video aired on a live Touhou Danmaku Kagura stream. The stream was actually quite cool, featuring live performances by many famous Touhou fan musicians, and even featuring Zun himself as an MC. Also, I was there in the audience. Toby Fox X Zun UN Owen was hero? Question mark? But before continuing, I'll just say my knowledge of Touhou, or Touhou, I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, but I am vaguely familiar with this franchise. Its characters have been brought to my attention ever since my Death Battle days, where people were like, ooh, you should do this matchup or that matchup because, or you should talk about these matchups because they involve powerful Touhou characters. I keep saying Touhou, and I feel like that is the name of something other than this. Is that the name of the Godzilla studio? I don't remember now. Anyway, point is, I'm vaguely aware of the series. I don't know much about it, though. I should check it out sometime. Toby's Touhou Adventure. Warning, this following story is unrelated to Undertale / Deltarune, therefore it's exclusive for truck freaks. As a thanks for working the track, the Danmaku Kagura team invited me to go to Japan and watch the livestream in person. After reaching the location, the staff brought me inside to a backstage area. We went past rooms where various performers were relaxing, with their names written on the outside. Zun-sama, Marasi-sama, Cool and Create-sama, and finally, Toby Fox-sama. Yes, I don't know why, but I had my own room even though I wasn't doing anything. After a while, Zun appeared and I managed to talk to him for a bit. I have met him a couple of times before, but it was so long ago that I lost all of my Zun-type EXP and had to start over from zero. What does this mean? Toby, you can't just throw out EXP. That implies that you've killed Zun before. What are you doing, Toby? Toby, Zun, Toby, so if I play Touhou too much, I start to think of everything in terms of Danmaku. Like if there's a crowd of people, I have to dodge all of them carefully while moving through them. Or if I'm driving a car and there's a bunch of traffic, I start to see all the other cars like they're bullets. Zun laughs. That's dangerous. Toby, since you make the games, don't you think that way all the time? Zun, I guess. I do tend to think of everything in relation to Touhou. Or Touhou? I'm just going to look up how it's pronounced before I trigger any more fans. Yeah, I confused myself. It is pronounced Touhou, which is a different spelling, but the same pronunciation as the studio that did Godzilla. So, that's why I was confused. Where was I? I do tend to think of everything in relation to Touhou. It can't be helped. Zon was really, really, really kind and helped to introduce me to the other people playing in the bands. I was able to meet many cool and creative people, such as Cool and Create. There was an interesting guy called Beat Mario. His young kid was there running around yelling stuff like, I want to go home, I want to go home. Soon after meeting him for the first time, Beat Mario picked up his kid and pushed them into me, trying to get me to hold them, but I just sort of backed up repeatedly. His wife asked me if I was afraid of children, and I accidentally agreed because I misunderstood her Japanese and thought she asked if I was bad at holding kids. Then she picked up the child and started spinning them around and making them do flips and said, it's easy once they aren't babies. You can basically do whatever you want as long as you don't drop them. It was cool. It was eventually like a free circus performance. Sorry, I know you're afraid of children. Wait, I'm not, but it was too late to correct myself, so they probably still think that. This is horrifying. This is like triggering my social anxiety. Christ. Afterwards, I met Marasi, an extremely talented piano player who posts many videos on YouTube of his performances. He was quite shocked to see I was there, and he showed me a video of him performing Megalovania like a virtuoso. Zun and I watched the entire performance for about 5 minutes, then applauded. It was surreal thinking that the song I made for a throwaway project when I was 15 years old would eventually have a performance of it shown to me and the creator of Touhou. That does sound pretty insane. Like, Toby Fox's life must feel like a fever dream, you know? Soon the stream started. It was surreal and incredible to witness live performances of Touhou fan songs I had known since high school. I feel satisfied in life knowing I got to yell, "Help me, Irin," in real life. Marasi's piano performance is also extremely moving. The truth is, I learned how to make music by learning how to play various video game songs by ear on the piano, and all of the first songs I learned how to play were Touhou music. Watching Marasi play Native Faith was like seeing an ultra-perfected version of my youth. It was really beautiful. That's really sweet. At the end was a very brief wrap-up party with drinks. Though Zun had already drunk 6 beers throughout the whole event, he continued to drink on here. Meanwhile, I don't really drink, so I slammed 1 beer, instantly became very drunk, and started over-explaining how much I loved Touhou to Cool and Create, who politely stood there and nodded. Afterwards, I drew on a signing board along with Zun. I had trouble remembering my signature, even though it's just a bunch of lines, and Zun laughed and said, "He's really drunk, isn't he?" Ironically, the signing started happening because I wanted Zun to sign something for Temmie, but she doesn't know that. Don't read this, Temmie. A guy called Beat Mario randomly hugged me from behind. I made literally no reaction. Someone around me said BL is beginning. It reminded me of being at an anime convention. Lol. BL meaning boys love, I think, is what that is, which is like like homosexual stuff, I think. My boomer is showing. That's really funny, though. Wow. This is why I don't go to parties. I couldn't deal with stuff like that. Afterwards, I signed many iPhones. Since I rarely make appearances, this is actually one of the only times I really felt like I was being seen as a celebrity. Though I found it very ironic. Hey, Zune, isn't this supposed to be your event? I asked. But Zune said, hey, they're all used to me. So I guess I should appreciate the BL from behind while it still happens. Toby, you can't say that! Now I have to go double check because I'm going to feel like an idiot if this means something other than what I think it means. It meant exactly what I thought it meant. Jesus Christ, Toby. You're as degenerate as my friends. Thank you, Danmaku, Kagura staff, and Zune. I made many memories I'll never forget. Wow. That looks like a very famous hat. I think one of the Touhou characters wears that. So that's fun. Or a version of that. Moving on. Sweet Cap'n KK? A message from Nell Nell. Hello, it's Nell Nell, the character designer in charge of Sweet Cap'n KK and Task Manager in Deltarune Chapter 2. It's really funny that this person is responsible for the Sweet Cap'n Cakes and Task Manager, because I love Task Manager and couldn't care less for the Sweet Cap'n Cakes. So, you know, at least you have range. Here's maybe I'll put it on screen, but I also did like a sprite edit of KK recently where I dressed him up like Papyrus. So that was fun. Moving on. I can't contain my surprise at how quickly 2 years have passed since Chapter 2 released. When Deltarune Chapter 1 was released, I was just one of the millions of fans of Toby's work. I still remember so clearly how completely dumbstruck I felt after receiving a work request from Toby. I've been involved in a variety of design jobs, but the assignments I received for Deltarune were so much fun. It was the first time I've had work where, from the very moment I read the assignment, my mind became filled with ideas, one after the other. I was asked to draw a character based on a boombox theme, so I gave Toby 3 designs to choose from. The truth is, I made other designs too, but that's a secret. Oh. Other designs, as in characters that we haven't met yet. Interesting. That's fun. To my surprise, in the end, he decided to use all 3. I was so delighted. And so, I'm proud to announce that I was tasked with illustrating some new merch for this upbeat trio. Among the merch are some new stickers, so it'd be great if you could stick them on instruments, speakers, and other music-related gear, and enjoy the sound together with them. Give me one moment. It sounds like Satan is trying to break through my window. Alright. Fixed it. Where was I? More details will be announced later this month. By the way, as a small side note, it seems like the trio's favorite musical genres are dubstep for Sweet, electro for KK, and hip-hop for Cap'n. No wonder KK is the only tolerable one. New goods coming soon. Wow. Yeah, not a huge fan of these 3, but KK is the best one. So I'll take that as it were. Also, I mean, I'm not trying to be a downer here. But to find out that the 3 were originally just one character who ended up being split into 3 characters feels very... it feels correct, because they have about 1 character's worth of character between them. Moving on. Product copy. A certain company we work with sent this as potential promotional text for some products of the characters from Undertale. With these products in your collection, you'll never explore the underground again. I'll never explore it again? What are they gonna do to me? That's really funny and also totally random. The end. Papyrus is staring at a worm. I guess this connects Papyrus to Rule's card because he's always going on about worms. And Rule's card is already very much a parallel to Papyrus because he is the wacky trap maker, the wacky yet ineffective trap maker that you encounter in the first section of the game. And he's also paired up with a goofier, smaller sidekick who is of family relation in the form of a brother with Sans or a son with Lancer. So that's certainly interesting. Yeah. Random. Thanks, everyone. See you next year for the next Undertale anniversary. Undertale Xbox Physical. Undertale physically came out for Xbox. Cool. And that appears to be it. Very cute. Not much to say on this one, guys. Not a ton of new lore or confirmations on anything. This doesn't really lead anywhere. This doesn't really lead anywhere. This isn't canon. This further ties Rouse to Toriel, which makes sense. And it is ironic, though, because if Lancer is the Sans equivalent and Rouse is the Toriel equivalent, it's funny that they're together since Sans and Toriel are friends. Or for Sans and Toriel, not Sans and Tutorial. So that's a fun little detail. Further tying, Rouse to Toriel because he's very blatantly reminiscent of Asriel. Confirmation that Rouse will be in Chapter 3, while also hinting at a boss with the Lost Girl theme integrated. So what that says to me, because I don't feel like they'd use Lost Girl for Toriel. I mean, they might. That is possible. Because she is a girl. It's just that woman would be the term I'd use to describe Toriel. She's more matronly than girl would suggest. But to me, this either suggests that Toriel, Undyne, because Toriel called the police, so Undyne could be in this chapter, or the boss themselves are a girl with emotional, tragic elements. It's also possible there's some sort of some sort of Darkner who's a lost girl. Maybe this is evidence for the fabled Des Darkner. I guess, Des would be the go-to potential lost girl this could be referring to. But I don't think it's Noelle. And to be fair, it's been well established that Lost Girl leitmotif is not a Noelle leitmotif. It is a more universal theme. It's sort of like how the Undertale theme or the home theme aren't specifically belonging to like Toriel or Asgore or anything like that. It's just that they are prominently linked with it alongside many other characters. So Lost Girl, I don't think this means Noelle's in Chapter 3. I just think this is hinting at some sort of tragic female character. It being mixed together with this thuggish music kind of makes me think that it almost feels like either the thug character is kidnapping the girl, or it feels like the thug character is related to the girl in some way, maybe romantically, maybe in a familial way, or it's that the thug character is the lost girl. I really don't know. Interesting, though. Very interesting. And then I think that was kind of sort of the last bit of lore for this project, or for this game, or for this newsletter. Then there was the Sweet Cap'n Cakes hinting that they may have made some more stuff, which is neat. And then there's Papyrus being like rules card. Yeah, and that's about it. I think that's it for this reaction. Neat newsletter. Had fun. Not much to say on it. I've spent nearly an hour recording this reaction. So hopefully I cut it down a bit for YouTube. Give me a moment. I'm gonna double check and make sure there's nothing else for me to talk about. One moment. Took a glance around. Some people on Twitter seem to think this is more significant. I think it's a joke. Again, very off-brand for me to be like, I don't think this means anything, but I don't think this means anything. I think it's just Toby was amused about something, and he was like, here's something amusing that happened. Because I don't think this is lore, because they're like, yeah, I don't know. Shay was like, oh, it's connected to the Royal Sciences LLC. And it's like, I mean, maybe. I kind of doubt it. It's kind of funny that it's written like it's a Spampton quote, but like, I'm pretty sure this is just a joke. But yeah, anyway, that's it. That's all there is for the reaction. If this is it for the anniversary, this is a pretty, I mean, it's no Spampton sweepstakes, I'll tell you that much. It's also, I guess the Spampton sweepstakes wasn't was it the anniversary then? I don't remember now. I can't remember things that happened more than a few minutes ago. But yeah, no. Pretty whatever anniversary if this is all we're getting. But maybe we'll get more today. If so, I'll record my reaction to that as well. Anyway, that's it for now. Like if you enjoyed the video, comment if you got something to say, subscribe if you want to see more, and as always, have a fantastic day.